when I did the first one in Australia, I went into it like, let's just see if this works, because it was a different duration. So it went from 8 nights to 5 nights. We took out we weren't on the ocean. We were in a beautiful property, but surrounded by, trees and forest and nature. And in Bali, we were always on the ocean and watching the waves, watching the ocean. We were doing surf lessons, snorkeling, cliff jumping, island exploration. And so, I went into the first Australia retreat with just this sense of like, well, let's see what happens. I hope it works, and let's see what happens. And what happened was better than I could have hoped for, which was we actually removed the distractions of all those other fun things that were a huge part of the process, and some of my favorite things in life. But what actually happened is we were at the property for essentially like 6 days. And people can leave the property if they want, but no one wanted to leave. It's like you're just there. And so it became more potent and powerful just because we were focused only on the process and the people there. And you couldn't distract yourself with the other things like the surf lessons and island exploration and everything. So people were going deeper faster. They were connecting more deeply with each other. And even the change from the first retreat I did in Australia to the second retreat was the most recent one I did. The second retreat was something that I don't know if I've ever experienced, um, everyone going as deep as everyone did. And I mean, I can just think back to a certain moment where after we do one or two writing exercises, then we circle up and we get a chance to share and give some feedback and share, if you want to share something about what you wrote, or what the process, what the exercise was like for you. What was your experience? If you don't want to share exactly what you wrote, because you never have to share what you wrote. The most important thing is that you feel safe to just not censor yourself and write down all your thoughts and all your feelings. And so we were, after a certain exercise, which wasn't even one of there are certain exercises that typically kind of ignite the group and get them to go deep. And the exercise that we had just finished doing was just kind of a light, more playful exercise. And there was one woman who just kind of, when it was her turn to share, she was one of the first people to share. And when it came to her, she decided to share something that was really deeply personal and had impacted her life for a long time, and which she felt, I don't know, like ashamed about, or it's just not something that you would just normally share with a group of people, or I mean, even the people who know you well. And and truly, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Is just something that really affected her, and she decided to share it, even though you could see she was terrified, to just kind of share this part of her experience in life. And she did it, and it was so powerful. And it was one of many moments where I'm just sitting there listening to what someone is saying, and there are tears just coming out my eyes. I mean, I'm not bawling or anything. You're just sitting there and you can feel like the truth of what this person is saying, and you feel their emotion. And I'm just sitting there listening with tears coming down my face. And I look around, and most of the group is the same. Everyone is just silent and breathing and listening with tears coming down her face. And we give her the time to say what she wants to say and go through her process. And then she's finished, and it's the guy next to her, his turn. And he just goes, oh shit, if she can share that, then I can share this. And he shared something again that was he said I think he said he'd never shared it with anyone in his life, just a memory from when he was small. And again, it was nothing to be ashamed of, just an experience that deeply impacted him, that he'd carried and hadn't ever like processed and expressed. And he just decided, all right, he saw her do it and saw what her experience was and decided that he could do it. And so, and then it was like, not everyone in the group felt inspired to share right in that moment, but it ignited probably 4 or 5 people to be so real and so open. And that's just what happened. So almost every time we shared, it would like a couple other people would just would just be open up, and really open up and share their world with us. And it was kind of infectious, and it was so powerful. And we're afraid to share what we are really thinking and feeling. It feels so vulnerable, and we're afraid that people are going to leave us, or people are going to reject us if we share what we're really thinking and feeling, and show how human we are, and maybe how concerned we are, or worried we are, or afraid, or whatever it is. And what people experience sitting in that circle is how the opposite is true. But when you're real, and when you share what's really going on for you, it's just like the barriers come down, and you just fall in love with yourself because you're being true to you. And then other people fall in love with you too, because we just what's human is so magnetic and attractive, just someone to be human. And that's what everyone got to experience. And there were people who shared deeply on the first day. And every single day there are people who shared deeply. But I even remember one woman who had shared deeply a few times through it, but even on the last morning, something totally new came out, in a time when it wasn't even a time to really explore in a deep way, but that's just when it came out for her. So it was just like that the whole time in the group, just igniting each other. So uh, it's with the focus, with it being shorter, being 5 nights, and it being more focused on the process and the people. It's just like everyone now is arriving, whether they know they are or not. They're arriving for a really, really profound, um, emotional, mental, spiritual experience.